Yeah, I think for me, it's one thing I've noticed a lot is how it's refocused my love for footy. So when obviously something you love gets taken away, that's when you really know how much you love it, how much you miss it, and it's good in that sense. I'm trying to be positive about it, which I think is important.
Hey D's fans, welcome to episode 1 of The Talking Points, where we'll be dissecting all the big issues in the AFL world, and of course there are plenty of them at the moment. Gus, welcome.
Thank you, Bo. Thanks for having me,
for
mate.
joining me.
The brains trust out here, breaking it down.
The talk of the town at the moment is the hubs.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the next hour, 2 hours, there'll be even more information, but what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I'm actually a bit excited at the prospect of a hub. I think, I don't know how long it was. I lost count of the amount of time we weren't playing footy. So I think, both my brothers have been in hubs and they've been on the beach playing golf, having a great time with their teammates. I think it's an opportunity. I think so. I'm excited. Hopefully we get somewhere nice and sunny and go and play some footy.
ISO life has been strange for anyone in the AFL environment at the moment. We really pretty much only come to Casey and then stay at home. So is it good just to, I guess, get out of the state for a bit? Well,
yeah, I think Victoria is obviously in a tough spot at the moment compared to the other states with all these numbers going back up. So, yeah, I think a bit of respite from that. It's getting a bit cold. So hopefully, as I said, get somewhere a bit sunny. And, yeah, as I said, I think it's just a really good opportunity. And 3 or 4 weeks, that's 3 or 4 or 5 even games potentially that we've got to focus on playing. And, I think we're really well equipped as a club for whatever happens. So, we're ready for anything.
It is going to be tough for a few people. Jack Viney's one that comes to mind. He's had a baby within a week. Have you spoken to any of your teammates and got a feel of how they're tracking? Yeah,
there's a few different sort of categories. As you said, the Vines, Jake Lever, Tom McDonald, Jones have got kids. Then there's guys like Christian Petracca who are head over heels in love with their new girlfriend and can't bear the thought of being away from him for a while. So there's guys like that, and then there's other blokes who haven't really thought too much a whole lot about it. So there's a big spread, obviously, and I think we'll be able to cater to everyone's needs in some capacity. I don't know exactly to what extent, but I assume with kids and stuff there'll be ways to work around that. And for everyone else, there's going to be golf and other things and bits and pieces to do. So there shouldn't be too much. I don't think there's much to worry about. There's been a lot of negative press about it. All I'm really trying to say is that I think it's all been a bit blown up, and I think we're going to be fine.
We are in a privileged position to be part of an AFL club, but it has been challenging, obviously, as we touched on, staying at home. What have you found this whole experience to be like?
It's been interesting. A big learning experience for me. There's nothing really that's ever come like this before. So interesting to see how people, adapt and how to cope and find out a few things about yourself maybe that you didn't know before. I think for me, it's one thing I've noticed a lot is how it's refocused my love for footy. So when obviously something you love gets taken away, that's when you really know how much you love it, how much you miss it, and it's been great. And coming out to Casey and seeing everyone every day has been, I love it. So it's been good in that sense. I'm trying to be positive about it, which I think is important.
From an on-field perspective as a club, we've been challenged a little bit. Postponed game in round 3, rescheduled game this weekend. How much of an impact does that have in your preparation? We've got a new opponent 6 days out.
Yeah, I think there's obviously we sort of thought we were playing Sydney and now we're playing Richmond. So and the game I guess we all thought we were playing in round 3 against Essendon, and that didn't happen. So there's definitely been things that have changed. There's no denying that, but we, from an internal perspective, as I said before, are really well equipped to deal with whatever. So, we had the round 3 game. We had a really good internal club hit out, and then we'll straight on to Richmond. So instead of worrying about Sydney, now it's Richmond. I think we've got a pretty good. The word we've been using is agile. So being able to change quickly to different circumstances. I think we've got an agile group in that sense, and we're looking forward to play Richmond this weekend.
One of the biggest talking points coming off the loss to Geelong was your game time. You spent 67% of the time on the field. Have you got any explanation as to why that happened?
Yeah, there's a lot of hype about that, but it's don't read too much into it is what I would suggest. The numbers are numbers. It's a shorter game time, so if the ball's on the other side of the ground, then you get in 5 minutes in a 25-minute quarter versus 5 minutes in a 35-minute quarter. So it's that's just the way it is. It'll be someone else next week, and we won't be talking about it.
And Geelong did have 105 uncontested marks. They controlled the ball for 47% of the game. So you can sort of see how if the ball gets caught on the other wing, it can be hard to get on the field.
Yeah, exactly. So next week will be different, I'm sure.
And of course, this did score 7 coaches' votes. So it's all the talk about Goodwin not being happy with you is entirely incorrect.
Yeah. There's a lot of people trying to read into a lot of different things. So I would urge everyone to just wait and see what happens next week and then make a judgment maybe.
Good to hear. Now, we've got to talk about the inside 50s. It's always a talking point. I feel like it was different last week to what has been a problem in the past. We had 46 inside 50s for just the 6 goals, which isn't a great return, but it didn't feel like that bombing as such, did it?
No, I think we've certainly been we've been focusing on it for a long time now. So I think we've moved past the point where we just run in and kick it up a drain pipe and then it comes to wherever it comes and it gets rebounded. It's probably now we're focusing on a few more, I guess, maybe risky kicks. So trying to get better looks if it comes off. Ultimately, that comes with a higher risk if it misses. So we're closing in and we're working really hard at it, which I'm sure that everyone's probably heard before. But that's the key for us. We're really confident in the work we're doing, and we're equally confident that when we sort that out, guys like Tom McDonald, Bailey Fritsch, Melksham are going to get on the end of some really good looks and hopefully get that scoring up.
It can be a bit of a combination between that final kick and then the clunking the mark, those basic skills that you just got to nail, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a few things that we've been really training over the last couple of months, and I think if you didn't know what we were training, you wouldn't really see them. But from someone who sees the work, I'm really starting to see them come out in games. So I won't give the secrets away. Don't worry, Goody. But I think the work we're doing will come out soon.
Ugly footy has been a talking point fresh off the weekend. I think Alistair Clarkson brought a few people's attention to it. What did you find of the game we were a part of on Sunday?
Yeah, I think ugly is one way to describe it. I think the scoring's down. There's no denying that. But from my point of view, I love watching 2 really good teams like battle it out. So I remember a game last year against Essendon. They kicked 130 points and we kicked 120 odd and lost. But I didn't really think it was a good game, even though there was a lot of goals. I like the 2 forces trying to like outlast each other, and it's a grind and it's whoever can last the longest sort of thing. And I think we've had some close games already, so I think that there'll probably be more of that until we can sort this forward stuff out. But I also think that's like you look at our players, Christian Petracca, Clayton Oliver, Jack Viney, they're all bulls who keep going and going and going, and that's how we win games. So I think we wear teams down when we're playing at our best, and as long as we're winning, I think that's the main thing that we should be worried about, as opposed to how good our footy looks. I think that's just an interesting. I understand what Clarko is saying about kicking more goals, and people like goals, but there's nuances to the way we try and outlast teams that I really appreciate. So I think the Melbourne brand, I guess you could call it. So, it's interesting. It's interesting. Hopefully we kick 100 points and another team kicks none this week and we'll be right.
The foot skills across the whole comp are probably down. Do you think training is having an impact on that at all? It is looking completely different with these non-contact and group sessions.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been a period of adaptation where what we would usually be doing is just being thrown out and we're trying to figure things out a bit on the fly, and maybe potentially that's a reason why teams can't do what they would usually do. So the implication is that the skills are down and other bits and pieces, but it could be shorter quarters, so people have more energy and there's more pressure. There could be a heap of different reasons, and I think that as we sort of play more footy, we've had a really stop-start sort of last couple of months, more football, and that sort of stuff will come back up to the level that we all sort of know. You
are fresh off the track. Are you enjoying the trainings at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm loving it. I think it's because, as I said before, like you haven't taken away from you. And I trained with my brother over the break, which was great. But you miss seeing all your teammates and coming in and having a laugh in the locker room. Although there's only 8 of you in the locker room, it's still more than 1. So it's good to. I'm loving coming in basically, and I think that's one of the things that I really missed a lot was the team aspect, the camaraderie, the laughs, and the jokes in the locker room and that banter. We play a bit of cricket, so I've missed that. I'm a bit rusty with the bat, so I've had to sharpen up. But that's the stuff I love coming in, and that's the stuff we've been missing. So in isolation, I think it's great to have it back.
Well, I think we've just about covered all the hot topics for the week. So, Gus, thanks for joining us on the Talking Points.
Thanks for having me.